So here's an unboxing trick. I know that on YouTube everyone loves to watch an unboxing. This is my box. I'm going to unbox it very soon. But before we get to that, we have some cards. Just a small packet of cards. Now this is going to be a prediction effect using just a small packet of very special cards. We'll come to the box in a moment, and you can even give the spectators a holder. You use special cards. Cards that are used in experiments of the mind. They're known as ESP cards, extrasensory perception, symbol cards. Now what I want you to note is that they're just regular cards, and it's important to understand before we begin that the card is not see-through. You can't see the symbol through the back. The cards are not marked, believe it or not. Some cheats in card games have little markings on the back, but you can examine these. They're totally unfaked in any way. Just 5 cards with symbols. And it's all about choice, random choice. You see, I want you to have a random choice of any one of these cards. I don't want you to see the faces because that won't be random. You'll be making an informed decision as to which symbol you want. So if I mix these up, and if we lay these out on the table, I'm going to get you to choose one of these in the fairest possible way. There's the 5 cards. You got no idea which symbol is on which card. In a moment, I'm going to click my fingers 3 times. On the first time, I want you to make your mind a blank. Then when I click it a second time, I want you to hover your hand over the cards. And get a feel, is there a kind of gravity pull? Is there something pulling your hand down onto it? Now, you may think, I know about you magicians, you use this kind of salesperson technique of influencing choice. You might be looking at these cards that I've laid out here randomly and say, how comes you've got this one forward a little bit? Maybe you're trying to influence my choice to stop on this one. Some people even accuse me of putting the 2 end cards slightly further apart so that I force you to pick one in the middle. Trust me, I want you to have a random choice. Be sure that you know that. If you think I'm trying to influence you in any way, just go against the grain and you choose the card that you want, not the one that I want you to have. It's important to remember that. When I click my fingers a 3rd time, you are just going to stop your hand above the one that you feel some attachment to. So, without further ado, I want you to prepare yourself. Are you ready? I'm going to click my fingers once. Clear your mind of any thoughts that you currently have. Run your hand over the cards. That's it. Just drift them across, and the spectator drifts his hand across, backwards and forwards, to and fro over each card. You click a 3rd time. They stop on any card. Now, whichever card they stop on, that is the one they're going to have. There's no magician's choice here. We gather up the other symbols as well as your card. I'm not going to do anything with those, just going to put them down here. Just show you the card that you chose randomly. It happens to be the star. Okay, but there's nothing untoward about that. That is the card that you chose out of all of these, and it was an absolute free choice. You could have had any of the cards on here. We're going to come to that in a moment. That's the card that you chose, but you could have had this one, you could have had this one, or this one, or this one. Okay, there's nothing strange about those at all. This was an absolute free choice. You will agree with that. The star. Was there a reason why you lowered your hand on that? Maybe there was some sort of mystical power causing you to drop on this one. You see, the box has been sending out a powerful symbol. Our unboxing. Watch. We open the box that you've been holding. the lid is empty. You can examine that, and inside is one thing and one thing only, and it just happens to be a star. Nothing else in there. And that truly is an influential random choice. So the tutorial for this particular trick is pretty straightforward, nothing complex on here. You do need 4 cards. You do need 4 cards. Now, if you're the sort of person that doesn't often do tricks to do with mind reading and extrasensory perception, you may not actually own a pack of these symbol cards. That's not a big deal. You can perform this using just regular cards, maybe with a normal deck. Deal off 5 cards and get them to choose one of those, and you then reveal a prediction. This one, I just wanted to be slightly different, have a symbol. Now I chose this. Obviously I'm going to be forcing the star onto the spectator, and it's so convincing that I think it works really well. The symbol you can have anywhere, the prediction should I say, you can have it in an envelope, in your pocket, scribble it on a notepad, anywhere you like. Okay, so that's my prediction, so we do know we're going to force that onto the spectator. Okay, so I'll just put that in the box on there. The cards themselves, as far as the cards are concerned, they are just regular cards, okay, with the symbols on. However, the one that I'm going to force, on the back, in the middle, there's a little bit of sticky tape on there. Our ever faithful double-sided tape. And you only need a little bit on there, okay, not a lot, just in the middle. The way that the trick works is as you saw it performed. You can shuffle the cards to mix them up. Now, with the sticky, remember, if ever you're using double-sided tape in any trick, just put your thumb on it. You don't want it to be too sticky. Just need to be very slightly tacky on that. That way you can handle the cards quite freely. Okay, there's the 5 symbols. And what really convinces people that they are regular is the way you throw them around. When you see magicians holding cards and gripping them and their knuckles are white, you can see that they're kind of panicking and holding onto something that doesn't want to go out of alignment or reveal something. But because you're throwing these cards around, they're convinced that they're just 5 cards, and you can even throw some of them towards them and that'll pick them up. Make sure they don't get this one. Okay, might be slightly embarrassing if that sticks to them, but just kind of throw them and say, look, feel that, and get them to touch it, because if they touch it they can assume that everything is the same. When you gather the cards up, you can just mix them haphazardly, give them a shuffle, and as you start to lay these out, I tend to put this in the middle on there. That's just me, you don't have to. You as a magician know where the sticky one is, so you can put it anywhere. Okay, and this is why you only use a little bit, because you don't want people to see that, and to be honest, I've never had a problem with it. I can hardly see it here. Obviously with the light for the camera, you might see something on there, but trust me, in natural light I can't see a thing on there. But that's the layout. Now what I did to convince them is that when I push these in, I deliberately push one slightly forward and the 2 outer ones. That goes in line with my story that some people believe I'm trying to force you to pick that one because it's slightly forward, or that not to pick the end ones. Now when they wave their hand over the top, if they stop over your false card, the trick is done. This is even more powerful. And you really reiterate, really play on this, because it's a good selling point. If they hover over this one, which you know is the star, you say, are you sure? I can't twist your arm. Oh, go on, choose this one or this one, are you sure? because they remember that you really try to force them to move off of that, but they sticking to that. You can just turn these over, reveal that, and the trick is done. However, if they don't stop on that, they stop over here. What you do is you gather. Note the way on the performance, I didn't pick them up like this. I just kind of very messily kind of just gather them. But all I'm doing is just putting a bit of pressure on this one to lift it up, so that as I scoop these, I'm kind of scooping them underneath. This has got to go on top. The false card has got to go on top. So as you scoop them like that, and scoop this as well, just put a bit of pressure on here to lift up this so that it's casually. Look how casual that is. You're not making a big deal about it. They can see that that's the card they want. You just square them up momentarily, and in that split second you just put a bit of pressure on that card as you go to put these down. The trick's done. Their chosen card is now stuck to the back of the false card. Now this is what I like to do, is just to, with my fingertip, just spread this and flip it over. When I pick this up, because it's stuck, you can hand it quite freely. They saw you do this at the start of the routine, so they don't see anything untoward, and you can just drop that down on there. You pick up the other cards. Remember, there's only 3 of these, so just kind of pick these up, and as you pick up their one, just put it on top. Okay, just see the way I did that. You just put that on top, don't reveal this. I just drop that on top like that, so casual, and you say, this is your card. Now this is the deal, if you've dealt with double-sided tape, it can sometimes make a noise as you peel it off, and that's why you should never peel off. If I peel this up, it'll make a noise as I'm ripping it off. Remember, what you do is don't lift it up, just twist it like that. If you twist it, the sticky just comes off silently. Okay, so if I stick that down, when I just twist this on that, and to keep it consistent, I do the same with these. I just kind of twist them so it looks as though I'm not doing anything different to these as I did with that. There's the 4 cards, those. The trick itself has already been done a long time ago, but it's the fact that they had that freedom of choice. That's what you're trying to really sell to them, is that they really did have a choice of any of those cards, and you've handled them freely throughout. This is now a single card. You can gather these up, that's the one, and reveal your prediction in whichever manner you want for a very strong ending. And that is a great little simple prediction effect. Practice and enjoy.